Yo, it's Yas from MK Test Systems. Today we're going to be going through some tips and tricks in the lab. Stay tuned. We're going to start with the oscilloscope, which we use to digitize analog signals. This bad boy, 70 megahertz, have 4 channels. The first channel is connected to the output of a chip, which outputs some...
Yeah, do you want a biscuit?
Mate, please. I'm in the middle of something.
You sure? They're really nice.
I'm in the middle of something.
Okay.
Please.
Oh.
Okay. As I said, the first channel is connected to the output of a chip that outputs some signals. I reckon by now you have guessed what it is. It is a UART signal. So the tip here is to learn to trigger the scope in order to catch signals. How I've done it, I have the PC set up ready to send signals to the board. But speaking of the scope itself, you need to go to trigger, select the edge you want to trigger on. In our case, it's going to be a falling edge because, as you all know, the UART start bit starts with a falling edge. Choose the correct channel because I always get tricked in choosing the wrong channel. In our case, it's channel 2. Make sure to press single to snapshot a signal. Okay, then I'm going to transmit a message here, and here you go. This is our signal, clean, and as I mentioned earlier, our start bit starts with a falling edge. This is the first tip, and we're gonna move now to the second tip. Moving to tip 2, which is cursors. One of the cool things about this oscilloscope is that it has a built-in signal gen, which we're gonna use to display a square wave. Because I set up the signal gen, I know that the output is 1 kilohertz and the period is 1 millisecond, but the tricky bit and the cool thing is to discover that using the scope. With the scope, the first thing you need to do is to press on the cursors button, and this is gonna display 2 cursors, X1 and X2. You're gonna find here what's this called in English?
The technical term is adjusting knob.
Okay, but no, I think adjuster is better. First thing you start with is you look for the cursor button, which is gonna find in the measurement area. Press on it. It's gonna display 2 cursors, X1 and X2, which you can use to measure the displacement between them. Starting with X1, in order to set it up, press on the adjuster, and it's gonna display like a small tab that says X1, X2, or X1 and 2 linked, and there's also Y1 and Y2, and Y1 and Y2 linked. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select X1 and choose the first falling edge of the wave. Here we go. Then repress the adjuster, select X2, and move it to the end of the wave in order to measure the wave period, and from the period I'm going to determine the frequency. Here we go, it's set up. Then after setting X1 and X2, always remember to link them together so you don't change displacement between them. And here it is. Zooming into the scope, you're gonna find on the right side the period displayed, which is 1 millisecond, as we said earlier, and 1 over the period, which is the
good
frequency.
Job.
Mate, I'm in the middle of something. Can you?
But you did a good job.
Please, mate, you're happy?
Okay.
I'm happy. I'm gonna finish this. I'm gonna the canteen. Give me 1 minute, mate. You ruined my pay, Josh. You gonna carry on? Sorry. This is how we do it here. Sorry. This is not how we do it here. Going back to the frequency is 1 over the period, and the scope here displays you the period, which is 1 millisecond, and also displays 1 over the period, which is the frequency, and it says here 1 kilohertz. And this was the end of our tips and tricks. Stay tuned for the next episodes because we're gonna enjoy it. Mate, need some biscuits?